I tried to become a consistent trader and I learned this. I didn't learn it from buying expensive courses or joining signal groups. In fact, I had to unlearn all of that. None of that mattered. Instead, it was about discipline and my relationship with money. It was an internal thing, my mindset. Most traders spend most of their time chasing setups and strategies, but they miss the gold. The gold is actually within you, your discipline, your emotional intelligence, and your mindset. In this video, I'm going to teach you the 10 most important lessons that I learned in my years of trading, and I'm going to walk you through each one. And if you're stuck with your trading, make sure to watch this to the end because this might actually help you. So lesson number one is that you have to fix your relationship with money. If your financial thermostat, your internal dialogue with money is broke, if you have a broken mentality, a broke person's mentality, you should not be trading yet. You can fix it. You have to fix it, and then you can start trading. But if you have a bad relationship with money, you're not going to be able to trade because every time you make money or you go into profit, you're not used to making a lot of money. So when you see a lot of money, your mind is going to make you nervous. You're going to get nervous and then you can't hold trades. This is why most people are not able to hold trades. They close their profits too soon. They can't let the profits run because they have a bad relationship with money. They have a scarce mentality. They think money is hard to come by. So when you go into profit and it comes easily, it feels almost unreal. And this is the mind, your subconscious mind, not being used to this environment, and it will get uncomfortable and cause you to close the trade early. And it's also the same when you lose a trade because you think that money is hard to come by, money is scarce. When you lose a trade, now you get angry and you start revenge trading. So that's lesson number one. Lesson number two is you have to only trade your A plus setups. Everything else is garbage. Forget your C setups, B setups, anything else. You want to ignore everything and you want to only trade the best setups for the week. That's the hardest part because you should just wait for that. And waiting is going to require you to be patient. And a lot of people are not patient. They have a internal problem and they're addicted to trading that they need to make up a trade. They force trades. So now you're trading B setups, C setups, or you're just trading for the sake of trading, but you're not trading your A plus setup. So you have to wait for your A plus setup. Okay. If you want to be consistent, you need to stick to one setup. Okay. Lesson number three, backtesting is overrated. Okay. Backtesting doesn't tell you anything. In fact, it only tells you 2 to 5% of actually what is happening. Okay, it might give you an idea if a strategy works, but it doesn't teach you anything. There is no lesson there to be learned because it's not real time. You can backtest 12 months in 10 minutes. Do you understand? And so that doesn't give you a real representation of time in the market because when you take a trade, it's not 10 minutes that you hold the trade for. You might hold a trade for 24 hours. 72 hours, 48 hours, whatever it is, even 4 hours, 12 hours. But those hours, that's real time in the market. And in that time, there's a lot of things going on in your head. The average human has between 6,000 to 60,000 thoughts in one day. So can you imagine how many thoughts you have during that time when you're holding a live trade, a live position? You're doubting, you're second guessing, or you're cool. Like you need to know where your mind is, right? And your subconscious is making decisions based on your pride, your ego, your comfort level. You might go into a drawdown and you get uncomfortable, and that really will affect the way you trade. It will affect your decisions. You might just close the trade because you're already in a drawdown and you can't afford to lose more money because of your mindset. Your thinking is wrong. So backtesting is, in my opinion, a waste of time. It doesn't do anything. And if you're backtesting EAs, it's even worse because You have random news events which are going to occur that you don't know how to predict. They're not part of the backtest. Do you understand? The old news, yesterday's events are gone. They're not going to repeat. The exact same trade setup is never going to repeat itself ever again. Every single trade is completely unique. You might have a list of confirmations that make a trade, but no two trade is ever going to be the same. So why are you going to backtest? You need to forward test real money so that you're testing with real money and real emotions. This is what's important. A demo account is not real. So you're going to have a different feeling towards that trade than you would with real cash, real money on the line. When you have real money on the line, even if it's just $100, it's going to test you. That's where the lesson's at. That's the real gold. So backtesting is overrated. Don't spend too much time backtesting. Spend time figuring out how you feel when you're holding a trade, if you can hold a trade, forward testing, live testing, the real environment. That's where experience comes from. You cannot get experience from the backtest. Okay? Lesson number 4 is you have to stop switching strategies every week. Now, I did this for a long time. Okay? Every time I tried a strategy, I'd be on YouTube learning some new concept. All right? Some silver bullet concept. And then I'd go and test it. I'd go and live test it. And then it wouldn't work. And then I would think that strategy doesn't work. And then I'd be back on YouTube looking for another strategy. And I would do this every week for years. And this is a vicious cycle because this is actually never ending. It's infinite. It can go on forever. There are millions of combinations and different ways to trade. Why are you going to keep changing your strategy every week when it doesn't work? You have to realize that a loss doesn't mean it doesn't work. A loss is actually just part of the edge. It's part of the process. You have to lose to win. You have to trust the process. So this is a real important lesson, and it can save you years. Okay? Lesson number 5 is that the money is actually made on the weekends during Sunday, your Sunday analysis, your weekend analysis when you're alone in front of the charts and the market is closed and you're planning, you're looking for your setups, you're planning for the rest of the week. You're looking where potential trades could occur. You're reviewing your last week's trades. You're learning from your mistakes. Saturdays and Sundays are not meant for partying. There, you can relax, but you should allocate 2 to 4 hours and you should analyze the previous week's trades and you should be planning your next week's trades. And when you have a plan, you wait until those setups show up, until you find your A setups, your A plus setups show up. That's when you take your trade. And when they show up, you don't hesitate. You take the trade. You don't think twice because you've already done the thinking. You did the homework. Success is when opportunity and preparedness meets. So you got to get prepared on the weekends. And then when during the week, the opportunity arrives, you take the trade and you either win or you lose. 6. Lesson number 6 is that you got to stick to one setup. This is different to lesson number 4, where you're changing strategies all the time. Now I'm talking about just sticking to one setup. You're not trying to trade 5, 10, 15, 20 different concepts, depending on whatever flavor of the day, whatever the market brings you for that day. Like one day you'll be trading order blocks and the next day you'll be trading displacement. And the day after that, you're trading liquidity. It doesn't work like that. You can't do that. If you want consistency, this is important. If you want to be consistent, you got to just have one setup. It's so simple and it's so boring, but that's all it is. I used to think, hey, I could do a heads and shoulders trade today and then take a fair value gap the next day and do an order block. It doesn't work like that. You can't do that. You can only ever stick to one setup and master that one setup. That one setup is your setup. You know it like the back of your hand, and you trade it religiously and you stick to one. Keep it simple. If you want consistency, consistency comes from being consistent with one setup. You don't go to the casino and then just suddenly play blackjack for 10 minutes and then go switch to roulette and then go switch to poker. What are you doing? You're not going to win any of them. You got to stick to one. And then you know if you have an edge. Okay, so stick to one. Lesson number 7. Now, lesson number 7 is about risking 1%. Just risk 1%. Even 2% is too much, in my opinion. Okay, especially if you're trading in a prop firm, 1% of, say, $100,000, $200,000 account, that's a lot of money. Okay, so you don't need to be risking 5, 10%, something ridiculous like that. And it really is a rookie mistake when you risk big numbers, because you come into the market and you think it's quick money, you think it's easy money, and you don't realize that the more you risk, the more you're going to stress, the more anxiety you're putting on yourself, the more mental stress you're going to put on you, because now you're worried about losing that money because it's such a big position. You just stick to 1%. Keep it simple. 1%. You can't forget it. Make it a rule. Stick to 1%. And if you go into a drawdown, so if you start at $100,000 and now you're at $97,000, $95,000, you're in a drawdown, then you go down into 0.5%, so that you give yourself time to let the edge play out and recover without going crazy, and you're not stressed out. So keep your risk small. Trade big accounts, trade $1 million, $2 million, 100,000, whatever. Forget about trading $100. It's not going to work. You're never going to get rich off $100, $1,000 account. Don't do it. It's not consistent. You're not going to last long with those small accounts. Trade big accounts and risk small money. Use small risk. Okay. Number 8, lesson number 8. I love this one. This one is one of my favorites. You have to meditate. Meditate for 15 minutes a day and you will watch your life change. And when I meditate, I do guided meditation. So I have alpha waves or theta waves playing with headphones on. And basically, this is going to recenter your thoughts. You're going to come back to the center and realign with what is important. You're going to come back and remind yourself of what your setup looks like, what you're doing, where you are in the market. You're going to be able to have a mental recheck, a checkup on yourself. And if you do it every day, 15 minutes, or you do it in the morning or do it before you start your trade, and you will see the difference. Your life will change. If you're interested in meditation and you want some trading guided meditation, I have a link for you. The first link in the description. There's a guided meditations there. It's completely free. Go check it out. I would say that meditation was the thing that changed my trading. It made me go from a scattered, anxious trader, emotional roller coaster, to someone that is completely calm and completely stable all the time and sharp. You have to be mentally sharp if you want to be a trader. You cannot be scattered and have this TikTok brain. You can't do it. There's so much distraction online, things that are trying to get your attention left and right. That is just going to destroy your ability to think clearly and be your best when you trade. So meditation will bring you back and calm the noise. So take it seriously. Lesson number 9. Lesson number 9 is basically delete all the trading apps, MT4, MT5, TradingView, whatever you have, off your phone. Take it off your phone. You don't want to take that stuff with you. You should have done your work on the weekends, done your analysis, been prepared, taken the trade when it arrived. So when your setups formed, you got into your position, and then you close your computer and you don't look at it again. You never look at that again. You don't open your phone. I had this problem because I would open my MT4 or my TradingView and I'd look at it, taking screenshots, sharing it, whatever. And I would look at it 10, 20, 30 times a day. In fact, I couldn't sleep. at night because I would wake up at night and reach for my phone and check my trade and see where it was. And if I was in a drawdown, then there's no way I'm going back to sleep. Then I'm tossing and turning all night. So now that's affecting my sleep, my peace of mind. Don't let trading affect your lifestyle. Don't let trading go with you wherever you're going. Be present. When you are doing your analysis, do your analysis. Don't do anything else. When you're waiting for your setup, wait for your setup. When you're taking your trade, take your trade. When you're living your life, live your life. When you're with your family, your friends, people that matter, give them the attention. Do you understand? Be present. Don't be worried about looking at your charts. You're looking at your charts because you're looking at your P&L because you're worried about the future. You're not present. Now you're thinking about the future. Do you understand? So delete the apps. They don't do anything any good for anybody. They're just there to distract you and make you nervous. Lesson number 10. And if you're a beginner, I can understand, but don't pay for signals. Do not take trading signals. Don't fall for this signals groups and taking other people's trades. One, they're just making money off selling you signals. And two, you're not learning anything. You're not learning the decision-making process. You have to be able to think on your own. And I know it's hard as a beginner because there's so much noise out there. There's so much distraction. There's so many strategies. Everybody wants to sell you something, but you have to cut that noise out. You have to just find one setup, master that one setup, and don't discuss it with anybody. Because the moment you join a group or some signal group, you're part of groupthink. You're thinking like the group. And groupthink is failure. You cannot have success if you're sharing ideas with other people because what they feel is not what you feel. Do you understand? So you're not going to learn anything and you're just going to be stuck there forever and you're never going to make any money. If somebody is selling you signals, they're not making money. Simple as that. They're making money off selling you signals. I've been doing this for 10 years. I know this. I can tell you this as truth. If it were that easy as just copy someone's signals, we would all know about it. You couldn't hide it. So they're just selling you signals and they're just lying to you and you're not learning anything. So do the right thing, do the hard thing and go and learn to trade on your own and do your own thinking and work on your own mindset. If any of these lessons resonated with you, let me know in the comments which ones you liked the most. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and share these videos. I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.